And the marches by Tommy Robinson's crew, the things they say and the things they do, terrifies neighbourhoods.
Wider question here as well, I think, on society and the approach that we take to anti-Semitism, because of course we can provide security and policing, but that comes at the end of the problem, as it were. We have to think more about how we as a society stand up to anti-Semitism. The government is funding more for education, particularly for our children, so that we can tackle anti-Semitism at its root. But I think that if we are going to be in a position where our Jewish community isn't just living behind ever higher walls with more security around them, then we do have to think more carefully about how we as a society as a whole, not just the government but everybody else, respond to the huge rise in anti-Semitism that we have seen. I think it's important that all of us respond with solidarity towards our fellow citizens and make very clear that we will not tolerate anti-Semitism in our country. That is the root of this problem. That is the thing that we all have to get behind. But my job is also to make sure that at the moment, for day-to-day business, for people to be able to live their lives in safety and security, that I am doing everything in my power to provide the resources so that people do feel safe.
A series of one-off attacks. If we put this together with the attack on Heaton Park, the synagogue, Yasmin, if we look at the reports that we're having of increased anti-Semitic hate crimes in the UK, there is a problem here, and it's a problem we need to address as a society, isn't it? Yes,
and I think it's just horrible what's happened, but I don't think we know yet about the man who did it. They say he has mental health issues. There's no doubt, that British Jewish people are feeling this hatred around them.
They're experiencing it. They're not just feeling it.
No,
it's not something.
Experiencing. But
it's not a perception,
I think one also has to remember that, there was a time when the anti-racist struggle. This guy did what he did. What he's done is made life impossible for good black people and Asian people, because what he's done is he's told the world, we hate Jewish people. He doesn't care about us. He hates Jewish people and he doesn't care about us. And there was a time, I'm old enough to remember, that in the struggle against prejudices and discrimination and hatred, we were united. Jewish people, black people, Asian people were united. And we fought together. People don't even know this, that, all this anti-Semitism, that it's thanks to two extraordinary Jewish lawyers that we got our equality legislation, Anthony Lester and Jeffrey Beinman. Those two men created the anti-discrimination laws. I don't know what's happened to us, and it makes me very, very upset.
Do you think that we are doing enough to protect the Jewish community? Do you think that we need to single them out and say, here is a community that is in particular jeopardy, in particular peril at the moment?
Well, I'm sorry. I think we are in the middle of a hate culture. And Jewish people are part of that. And I think a lot is being done. And I think Starmer is serious about this. But in the end, Matt, you cannot stop people. You can't use a law to stop people hating you.
Joanna,
that's the horrible truth of it.
I mean, the shock.
Well, whilst that's true, you can stop importing the individuals that hate them. That's the reality here, but they don't want to talk about it. Why not?
Those shocking pictures that we saw there, it's Golders Green. That's broad daylight. Yeah. It's our community, it's our country that it's happening in. We can't treat this as one-off anymore, but what can we do to prevent it?
No, to me, this is all about education. And I think first, from all of us here, it's, we wish well on these two gentlemen as they recover in hospital. But I think it's education. This seems to be a religious catastrophe going on because of what's happening between Iran and Israel. Now, Zionism is not Judaism. And we have always been such a tolerant country about different religions. Think about Elizabeth I. What did she say between Catholicism and Protestantism? She said, I do not have a window into men's souls. And we need to be much more compassionate and empathetic to people who are going through this. I've got girlfriends who live in North London. They're terrified of going out after dark. Now they're going to be terrified to go out during the day. But it needs to come from the top. 25 million on extra policing around synagogues ain't going to cut the mustard. We need absolute education. We need bobbies on the beat. We need a much more broad brush approach. And I want to see Starmer coming on the television and saying to people, it stops now. But
the thing is, Joanna, it can't stop. You can't stop people like this guy to multiply raping a Sikh woman who he thought was a Muslim. Yeah? And over, you see these awful incidents, and the marches by Tommy Robinson's crew, the things they say and the things they do terrifies neighborhoods. So I think he's hit on something. You know, I look back at 2012, the Olympic year, what we were then, and we're not that now.
I think so much has changed really since COVID. What I see is parenting. They're absolving themselves of a form of responsibility. These children are brought up on AI, social media as being their informants, and it doesn't work. If it was up to me, don't ban social media for people under 16. Ban it.
How much can we hold those who have authority, those who govern us, responsible for what we're seeing now? Or should we be looking at things like the tech platforms, at social media, as the way that this has fomented unrest?
I think there are multiple responsibilities here, because government has got to ensure that the legislation covers the damage that can be caused. But all of these social media companies have got a free rein. They can pretty much do what they want. If we try to go against anything from America, they just ignore us. Even those sort of platforms like Glass Ceiling, I think it's called, where you put down what you think about working for a company. It's a trolling site. It's an anonymous trolling site.
Okay.
And we are encouraging this next generation. You can say and do whatever you want, and there are no consequences. Okay. We need to get back to basics.